Cheers. And then you can escape again, and then I'll introduce you. Another great day in the world of wine, in the world of food, and more importantly, today, in the world of chocolate. What an exciting day. This is May the 2nd, 4 p.m. California time. And we are again here in the fabulous town of Yountville at the JCB Wine Bar and Lounge. We have so many people shopping. They want to come. They want to come and enjoy wine, but we had to tell them we could not. So sad, but soon we'll be back. A few days ago, I came across a great friend of mine who was biking. He's a very athletic young man, very charming. And we started to talk, and I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm making what I always do." And I said, "Fantastic, let's do something for the fun of it together." And guess what happened? In life, we can make things happen very fast. So dear friends, I'm so excited tonight. We're gonna have so much fun. It's not gonna be just about salt. It's not gonna be about just the obvious. It's not cheese, it's not charcuterie, it's not foie gras, it's not anything of that. This is with the most talented, the most phenomenal, the most flamboyant, the most charming. Ladies, I'm afraid to tell you, he is spoken for, and his gorgeous, beautiful, irresistible wife is with us, so she could see whatever you say, but you could post. Nobody knows. So we're delighted to welcome all of you again. This is the famous, fantastic, charismatic, and eloquent Chris Kollar. Bonjour, Chris.
Bonjour, Jean-Charles.
So, Chris, we have many great friends. We have Natalie, we have Lauren, we have Ilona, we have Donna, we have Barbara. There's a lot of ladies today following us, and it's so exciting to welcome you, with something very unique. So I know I'm going to start, and then I'm starting to ask you quite a few questions. But first, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, and I know you don't, it just arrived back in stock, the famous JCB French Kiss. So I gave a few bottles of that to Chris, and he said, "Oh!" What did you say?
No exaggeration.
What did you say?
I said, the most juiciest drink I've had. I love, 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 love this.
So we are pouring the French Kiss, and this is one of the most unusual wine any of you would have tried in history. Why? Because it's red. So it's a red grape named Gamay that we vinify in the heart of France, where Chris learned a lot of his art. And this is a wine which is so cool, Chris, in many ways, because there's no alcohol, barely. Less than 8%. So, dear friends, question number one for Chris. How did you become such an amazing man?
Well, I had a first sip of some sparkling red. Hold on.
Yeah, we better have a sip.
Let me thank my mom and dad.
I know, but who made you so attractive? Was it more your mom, your father?
Well, a little bit of both. I have both Italian roots, Sicilian roots, Czechoslovakian roots, and they're from New York. They had me and my brother down in Georgia, of all places. And then I found a bicycle. Now, I love bicycles so much.
Look at this!
I designed a shoe with bicycles on it.
Is it how you charm your wife? You
I
put
do.
some
I pull my
JCB
shoes on.
French Kiss and she drank out of it?
That's it.
It's so typically the other way around, right? She has her beautiful heels and she has gorgeous legs, just to let you know.
Yes, yes. I'm a lucky man.
So Chris, born and raised in Atlanta.
Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, just north of the city. And then, I went through the high school, I wasn't really good with the schools. It wasn't my thing.
I could see you as a good student, specifically looking at other girls.
Yes, yeah, I'd show up.
You were kind of like I was, right?
Uh-huh. And so, I'm not sure what I wanted to do. And, my parents always cook. I'm from an Italian family.
Yeah.
Always cook. We always had good food and homemade. I don't know what it was. I think it was my dad. When I was about 5 years old, I had a hard time eating vegetables, and he goes, "I gotta get you to eat vegetables, man."
Did he put a chocolate sauce in it?
No, but he did help inspire one of my first chocolates, and he gave me fennel. And he's like, "Eat this. It's like licorice, the candy, licorice, you know."
Very cool idea.
Yeah. So he tricked me, and I ate it raw, and I was like, "This is awesome. This is great." Long story short, gosh, 35 years later, I made a chocolate inspired by that moment and living in Northern California.
And you know, this is always about what is great about memory. Is memory inspires you and memory makes you become who you are. Did it help you to become a chef? Was it, do you think, something that triggered it?
Something triggered there. You know, my interests were playing soccer. I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player. I really did. That was my dream.
That's another thing we have in common with Chris. We love the round balls. Hey, I hope you were for France last time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey, I need to share with all of you a story which is quite fun. And I know Jen, who is here, saw me, and Dylan as well that way. So I make a bet on the World Cup.
Okay.
And I know you've designed some amazing World Cup bowls as well.
We have.
The last World Cup, I bet against my daughter and against my country. And I say to the ladies, France is not going to make it. Guess what? The bet was €50 each, or I shave my head. What did they choose?
France.
They choose France. I chose Germany, which was a big mistake, obviously, because we beat them even before then. And guess what happened? I shaved my head. So I was like a round bowl, like one of those beautiful bulbs. So, you know, we love soccer, and this is something which is so fun to do. We should start a soccer tournament right here.
League. Forget bocce, let's go to soccer league.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, Chris is an amazing store, literally 200 meters away from the JCB Wine Lounge in Yountville. So we neighbors. But Chris, tell us more about you as we going to dive into the chocolate, because becoming a chocolatier is very unique.
It's
and maybe we want to sit.
Let's sit. It's you know, I always say in the chef world, in the restaurant world, in the food world, there's three disciplines: your savory restaurant chefs, hotel chefs, your pastry chefs, and your chocolatiers. I always say this: there's only enough time to have enough discipline to do one of those really well. And so, when I was living in Atlanta, I decided to go to Culinary School over in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, you went to
Johnson & Wales.
Great school.
Great school. Was there briefly. I had a hard time going to school and going to the beach.
Well, to keep that beautiful town, you need the sun, right?
Exactly. And so
we may see his chest, because I saw it yesterday when he was biking. It's quite impressive. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger himself would be pale next to Chris' chocolate chest.
Yeah. No, that's it. After that, you know, I was like, I'm going to go work for chefs all over the country. So I started my journey, headed to Colorado, headed to the Cayman Islands, headed to Seattle, and then I ended up in Napa Valley, 2001.
And how did you end up in Napa?
Well, two things are important to me: cooking food, and riding my bicycle.
Very
Sometimes
cool.
they flip-flop.
You see, when we talk about passion and when we talk about what drives who you become eventually and what you're supposed to be in life, you follow your passion, and here it is.
I follow my passion. Living in cities was great, but I couldn't have those bike rides. You know, I want to be in the country. I want to be in the hills. I want to have that quiet peace and create. So, moved to Napa Valley, worked at restaurants all up and down the valley. I was done working in restaurants, and I worked at a winery. Up in Sonoma, Peter Michael Winery. Mm-hmm. And I had working for the family there, and the owner says, "Hey Chris, whenever we're not here, do whatever you want to do." This was my time that I could focus on something besides working in restaurant kind of food and making the nice foie gras and the steaks and the vegetables.
Because you know how to do that too.
That's my background. For 16, almost 17 years, that's all I did. And so now's the time. I took my own money, bought my own chocolate, sought out my favorite chocolate pastry chefs that I've worked for in different departments. Didn't work with them, but we worked together, and they taught me things.
This is so cool.
Yeah, so
following your passion. I understand as well you were in Europe for some time.
I was in Europe, so this company right here, Valrhona, French company in Provence.
Don't hold that against you.
No, not at all, no.
They know how to do a few things.
Yep.
When it deals with the mouth and the touch and the perfume, the French are pretty good.
We need to have all five senses triggering, so they understand, and they're a small company, and they source single origin plantation chocolate. Really important. It's almost like you do with your estate wine.
That's right.
You just pull off that one estate, you put it in that one bottle. They do that with the chocolate, and that's the association that I really love of being here.
Always love them, and you know which is so exciting, which is what we're going to do in a way today, is chocolate and wine. And we sometimes have a preconceived idea that chocolate always goes with champagne or sparkling, but you know, it's a misconception, right? It goes with every styles of wine.
It goes with everything.
What would you actually pair, as we're talking chocolate for a sec, and we need to come back to your amazing, incredible background, because I'm a huge fan, as you could tell, and we live, you know, 500 yards away,
right down the road.
which is a blessing. So what did you, we asked Chris, he's amazingly creative, and I'm going to show again everyone this unbelievable, insane, incredible platter that he's created. And we live in unusual time, Chris, so maybe you want to present one of them, because I asked Chris to match and pair and marry this incredible French kiss, which is really tender, which is unforgettable kind of wine, with, I really feel, that irresistible length on the palate. So I said, Chris, what shall we have with it that would really enhance and pair beautifully with the wine?
I think our timing was right on time during this time period. Doors have been closed for a little while, and I'm still creating and innovating and making sure I can keep up on my game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And during this time, I was inspired by this situation with COVID-19. And I sourced a special pill shape and made a peanut butter and jelly, because I believe peanut butter and jelly is one of my favorite things growing up. It's very comforting. I could make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Anyone can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. One of the most comforting foods I think there is, peanut butter and jelly, savory and sweet.
Can I give you a confidence, Chris, not to interrupt you, but my daughters, 2 weeks ago, made me the first ever peanut butter sandwich I've ever had. I was always, you know, condescendingly looking at it, saying, I'm going to go. I loved it so much. So is it an accident that I'm picking up the blue pill? Is it a sign? Gina, is it really what I need? You tell me. I'm ready. This one is a big one. Is it 500 grams? The hill is going to be on fire tonight. So chin chin, shall we?
Yeah.
So we're going to bite into this. So we call it COVID-69.
COVID-69. We made it red, white, and blue.
I'm going to go around and show our friends. Look at the inside of it. Forgive me. You know, thank God Dylan is with us. But look at the artistry, dear friends, of what that is. Everything is there. Can you see it well? Isn't it beautiful? So what do you have? You have 3 layers, huh?
You have 3 layers. You have a dark chocolate on the outside, holding it all in there. You have a peanut butter and milk chocolate on the inside, and I made a raspberry homemade jelly with these amazing raspberries. And that's it. It is the juicy. I loved this last night. I had a big, long bike ride yesterday, nice 65 miles through the Sonoma Hills, through the Napa Hills.
Good for you.
And the first thing I drank when I got home was this, the Love. And it blew me away. And so this was inspired by this situation, but then now this pairing was a whole nother level together.
I'm in love with it. I'm going to our neighbors later on tonight, and we're going to do some more.
Okay.
With social distancing, of course.
Yes.
And we have fire, we have heat in
Long
between
sticks.
ourselves. Long sticks.
Yes.
So Gina may use the stick now that she knows I've had the blue pill. Sarah Brewer loves that, isn't it? And Nina Lawrence too. Joni, thank you. Joni, for being here. If your husband needs a blue pill, just let me know. We'll introduce you to Chris. Hey, dear friends, you got to realize Chris Kollar, we represent as well his beautiful chocolate here in Yonville at Atelier. We're starting as well at the Oakville Grocery with a few assortments. And he has an amazing store in Yonville, a grape throw away.
Right across the parking lot.
That's it. So you can go, and what is so cool, some days he's partially dressed, so you can see that beautiful chest. because it's very hot when you make chocolate. You could see it making it as he sells it to you. So what else do we have here? Tell us, because this is so beautiful.
Well, the red, white, and blue, boom, that's our PB&Js. This one, well, let's start over here.
Yeah.
This is our sunflower seed praline. So sunflower butter, milk chocolate, dark chocolate. My background is a savory chef. I wanted to interpret different flavors
Yep.
in chocolate besides sweet, dark,
I love this
cherry.
idea.
And so this one right here is
Can
that
I try
idea.
as
Go
well?
for it. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 senses. You smell chocolate first. And I exactly smell what you're describing. In the outside. God, how do you make them so? Can people actually make chocolate at home?
They can. I
What
learned
do
in
you
my house. It
recommend?
was a mess. It was, it was a
made
total
them
mess.
at
It was
home?
all over that. We had to start somewhere. But, you know, when you look at these chocolates, I want the colors to represent even the blue pill and the red pill, where they started from. So
Yeah.
yellow and black is sunflower. Raspberries, dark colors.
So raspberries here.
This is a raspberry milk chocolate with dark chocolate.
Oh, you have your nice. Thank you for wearing.
the fennel.
He's wearing his beautiful, obviously the bee, because we need bees to grow good fennel.
Pollinate everything.
Pollination. We're big fan of the bee. We need to do a jewelry series one day together.
You know, you've
With our
mentioned that.
next release of jewelry, I'd love for you to make a chocolate like this one. Wouldn't it be great?
That's pretty
The
wild.
heart. As you shape it, you can imagine your beautiful wife, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it great? And then the arrow going through the Cupid moment of love.
Yes.
So maybe we'll do chocolate and jewelry. But so what about this one?
This one was inspired by this wine right here.
Well, let's try it.
And if you see that box right there,
Yeah.
it's gold, it's black, it's dark, it's red. This wine was perfect with it.
So, dear friends, what is interesting is that's the box, right?
That's it.
We're going to look at it in a moment. Chris is an amazing, obviously, taster. And we've defined together over the last 5 years an amazing chocolate and wine tasting. And I believe he's taken it to the next level right here. Look at that. It's a JCB chocolate amazing assortment that is produced for us. And for years, we've been making chocolate and wine pairing. So what is so cool is when you have a friend and someone who knows so well wine, it makes it so much easy
So easy.
to pair with chocolate. So what we're trying, dear friends, I'll start and Chris, you describe what you feel. This is the famous Buena Vista, the Countess. So she's the wife of a count who really founded the wine region of California in 1857. And we created this wine as the Countess. This is a very sensual wine. Why? She's a woman. She gave birth to 6 kids in the 1850s, 1860s. And we wanted to make a wine that really represents who she is. So Zinfandel, the epicenter of what California is all about. Merlot, sensuality and emotion. Petit Syrah, big roots. Syrah, big foundation. And a little bit of Mission grapes, which were the grapes that came before as hybrids to California before Vitis vinifera.
All in that.
So what do you think of the pairing with it?
It's smooth, it's elegant. You don't have to eat food with it. You can just drink it, or you could eat food with it if you want. But it's everything you just said. If you think about those varieties and those flavors together, it's symbiotic. It's all comes together. I love it.
It works very well. So which of the chocolate would you recommend we...
So, just like the fennel pollen grows wild all over Northern California, you also see a lot of lavender. This lavender dark chocolate has a 70% Verona based chocolate in there. We pick the lavender from a farm here in Yountville, Jacobson's Orchard.
Sure.
It's a secret garden.
Yeah.
And we make this chocolate with it. And so you get some of that background stringentness of lavender blended with a well-blended 70% chocolate, and just wash it down.
So do you recommend people to... Because I think a lot of our friends, and if you have questions, dear friends, I have my little telephone right here so I can echo the question
Yeah, what do you got?
to our huge talent. But do you recommend people? Well, first, would it be fun one day that you show us your place and we make something that people can do at home? What would that be?
Gosh, we could do. It's a good question. We could do a lot of things, but I think the most simplest thing, we practice making ganaches and pralines.
Love ganache.
Yep, you can have a cream base, you can have a fruit base. We can make a basic, simple ganache. Anyone can make it home. You can get any of the ingredients. You can use your favorite chocolate. You don't have to get anything specific. And I can walk you through the steps.
Would be fun. Is everybody interested in that? If you say yes, we're going to do it. So what is so cool, Chris, you recommend people to go in the garden and as simply like they would make a salad dressing or they would make a dish or a seasoned platter of anything to blend it with the chocolate they make?
That's it. That's a great example, like a salad dressing. They're going to emulsify fat and they're solid together. That's it. An immersion blender, very simple, certain temperatures. We'll walk you through everything. But that's how we discover things.
That's so
how
cool.
you might discover something thinking about apple pie. You might be making something with dark chocolate and oranges. Who knows? You never know where it goes.
I mean, which is so cool is a lot of those are obviously from our garden. I'm a huge fan. Typically, I love lavender as a soap or, within that form. I'm amazed of the pairing. You would have asked me, is it going to work? I would have been probably a little...
You mentioned something. Yes, a little hesitant. A lot of people think, and a lot of people do, have a soapy feeling with lavender. Yeah. It's not about the big purple buds of the lavender.
Butts?
No, butts.
Oh,
the butts opening.
Pink and blue pilled butts. Where is my bud? I'm looking at your wife, and here we go. I get derailed. Forgive me.
No, you want to get the pointy, the pointy leaves at the bottom. Is going to get away from that soapy, perfumey, aromatic, but still have that balance.
What is the other most unique plant you've made chocolate with?
Our signature chocolate. Our signature chocolate is the Fennel Pollen.
That's right.
And once again, inspired
so
by... that is hiding...
Let's look at it. Because I think it's... When you get a box of chocolate from Chris, this is obviously... As you can see, Chris, why don't we show that box to everyone? Look at those colors. Isn't it insanely gorgeous?
And once again, the colors represent what the flavor is. Yuzu, green, yellow, sunflower, yellow, orange, color of orange, passion fruit, pink, red, purple, colors of passion.
Gorgeous.
Coffee, like when you swirl your coffee in a mocha or a cappuccino, it has these designs of browns and blacks and whites.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, doesn't get any better. So tell us about your signature
chocolate. This right here, the Fennel Pollen. When I first moved here, I noticed fennel grows wild all over the highways, all over the roads, and on these big long climbs up through the hills, I pull it off and I put it in my mouth. I'm from Georgia, right? So I'm like,
peachy mouth.
Peachy mouth. Let's put some tobacco in there. No, we're going to put fennel fronds in our mouth. We're going to make our mind think of something else. When you see the Tour de France, you see the riders going up the big hills. Mm-hmm. They need to think about something else besides the pain they're going through. That's right. So that flavor, we're going to kick off some sensors. We're going to kick off the 5 senses.
Isn't it a great idea? Just picking it literally from what he saw, and it became
right there.
The one.
So I go back to the kitchen. I was like, this plant, this is great. I use it in Italian cooking. I use it in French-based cooking and pastas and on pork. And why not get it in chocolate?
I love it.
So I found a milk chocolate that has notes of honey, chestnut, and nice mellowness, and that was a perfect blend.
And what's the percentage of the chocolate in the milk chocolate?
40% milk chocolate.
40%. So it does not always have to be 70 or 80%.
No, and on the outside, though, it's coated in 62%. Okay. So there's this balance. You get all that full flavor. Chocolate's an amazing product. It starts in other countries. We can't grow it here, but it goes through a lot of hands before we get it. It's a fermented product.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. It's fermented like grapes and
wine.
It
looks like this,
Yep.
Right? Isn't it gorgeous?
This is the cocoa pod. This is a dried cocoa pod. This is a big cocoa pod. This is a nice variety of the Creole bean. The Creole pod. Inside, the beans are big. They're plump. They can be manipulated more. It's a prized cocoa.
Where's that one from?
This is Venezuela.
Oh, Venezuela. Another great place.
Another great place. Mm-hmm. And just like wine, where it grows, the terroir is different from each
What is your favorite terroir for chocolate?
You know,
I know it's hard. It's like asking me what's my favorite wine.
Right, you know, Ecuador. I love the
Ecuador.
region in Ecuador.
Yeah.
It's right on the equator, Ecuador, right there. You know, and I visited Ecuador a few years ago and went to the plantations and visited the people. They're wonderful, and it's just the epicenter for chocolate
for
growing.
great
It
chocolate.
really is.
Hey, Chris, by the way, as you were talking, I went back from Lavender with the French kiss.
Let me do that.
Try that and give us your emotion. And as you tell us that, tell us, how did you ultimately discover it was chocolate for you? That your future was going to be chocolate. I'm always interested in understanding passion.
Wow,
What drives it? What made you become who you are?
that's a good question.
Because I know him well, day and night, day and night.
Well, I was
And
driving.
I know how wild he could be, right?
Well, I was in a
And
wild.
that's the sign of him I love. Forgive me.
That's okay. I was in a wild moment when this happened.
Yeah.
I was making dinner for a wine tasting, and I forgot my gnocchi. I was making a veal dish with nice vegetables and my gnocchi, and so I called my friend to bring the gnocchi to me, and I got the gnocchi, and I was in my favorite car ever. It was a BMW 635 CSI 1985.
Not too bad.
Restored. My dad bought it off the lot in 1985. Kept it in the family. I got it out here. So I'm in my car. I'm driving through the windy roads of Sonoma, going back to the winery. Next thing you know, I get a little out of control and I crashed the car.
What?
And the car was crashed. It was gorgeous, restored, perfect. And that's the moment when I said, I need to slow down my life. And chocolate,
So when a catastrophe can happen,
you need patience.
we need to come out strong out of it, as we
It
say.
was a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
And this takes patience. You can't rush it.
Yeah.
You can't force it. You can't accelerate it. You have to be patient with it. When you melt it, it has to go.
I
through
love when you
temperatures.
become philosophical like this on a Saturday afternoon. Ooh, it's a new Chris. You've transformed
Since the
him.
COVID.
I love
So that was
it.
the
So that
time.
calmed you down.
That calmed me down.
If anything can calm me down.
It wasn't
I love
ABS
it.
brakes.
And Marta Gamo is saying, passion, of course, Marta. Nikki, she loves it. Michelle, she wants to see you again.
Hi, Michelle.
And Melissa has had your gift box as well. So you see, you have a lot of great fans. Scott Bigelow loves your lavender chocolate as well. Thank you, Scott. So, friends, if any question for Chris. So, Chris, then you started the store.
Then I started the store. A couple years later, I was making my chocolate in the
Yeah.
little place. Got over. Happens to be a place in Yountville. Boom.
And you started.
This started the store, and the most important thing was my favorite restaurants were restaurants that you could see the chefs cooking, you could smell it, the clinging, the clanging, the fire, all that. I wanted to make sure I had an experience.
Yes.
Not just, oh, you buy something on the shelf and you're out of here.
That's
Have
right.
a good day, thanks. No, we wanted to make sure that all the sensors were firing on all 5 cylinders, like a 2000.
And that's what we have a lot in common is we love for the guest. Our wineries, his shops is people experience and go
Experience.
beyond. You see Chris, behind the counter and in his kitchen as well, preparing the chocolate. And I think it's half of the taste comes from the experience you have. And that's really what I love. And it leads maybe to the next wine we should try. The John Legend and the LVE. You're going to have to finish your glass. Are you going to be able to manage?
I think so.
You don't have that BMW anymore, so you should be fine. And I know he biked over today just to be safe. So, dear friends, we are having a wine that we wanted to have for Chris and his beautiful wife. And I'm going to serve you some wine, I hope. Jen, we need some glasses for all of you, too. This is the LVE. This is the fantastic wine we make with John Legend. And talking about passion, John has incredible passion.
Oh, he does.
And I met him and we became friends before even making wine. And he really wanted to make wine. One of his passion is wine and red wine. And he said, Jean-Charles, it's transformative to drink wine and it really inspires me. And it really, in many ways bring the harmony of my music with my family, with what I want to communicate, and wine. So we started in the blending room that you know well. What did you put in the blending room the last time We had a party together. Chris had a bathtub, and what did you do?
Oh well, you helped me figure out how to make an experience for all the guests that night. And we had a couple girls in the bathtub, and they were
Really?
taking a bath in chocolate. I guess that would be a
Have you
chocolate
all
bomb.
tried bath in chocolate? And there were 2 ladies, if I recall.
There was 2 ladies.
I mean, the end of that evening is a little blurry for me, so refresh my memory. Luckily, those ladies love one another.
Yes.
So
yes.
one part of the chocolate was white and the other one was black. And
That's right. I think that might have been another party.
oh, here we go. So what happened when you blend white chocolate with black chocolate?
You get a creamy milk and chocolate.
I know Dylan wants the cream. What a bad boy he is. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to look at Dylan always because he makes us live the dream as a bachelor, so we learn him.
Yes.
So, Chris, cheers.
Cheers
We
to
got
love.
to cheer to love and passion. And you have so much passion that Chris is the winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the Food Network. You got to realize he's the man you see on television winning and winning and winning. So tell us about that experience because I saw it and you should describe to our friends how is it?
Well, John Charles Buffet is talking about Chopped. So, the Chopped.
Yep.
We did the TV show on the Food Network called Chopped. And,
Just to calm me down, meanwall he's talking, I'm going to have the red pill because I'm afraid for Gina. 500 grams of blue pill, it's going to be a lot.
1,000 grams.
Oh, is it the same recipe?
So yeah, the TV show Chopped, I was on it. I competed against the other competitors from different parts of the country. And there's a mystery basket. We have no idea. There's no TV magic. It was really.
So no TV magic.
None.
I always think there's something on Chopped.
No.
It's pre-planned, no?
I thought so too, but nope, everything was straightforward. The only magic was if Ted Allen messed up on his lines, we'd redo that. Hey, today we have. But no. So we open the thing, and then it's a mystery. And then the time kicks, and then you figure out something real quick.
And you made it!
We made it!
I love it! We're not going to shake hands. Not that, maybe the elbow, who knows? But let's have a toast for Chris.
Thank you.
To make the region proud, to make the United States proud. Because, when you think of chocolate, I'm going to give you my little version. One of my close friends from kindergarten. You haven't met him yet. He's from Burgundy. He has an amazing chocolate like you. He's one of the best ouvriers of France. It's incredible. And I'm surrounded from Patrick Augier to La Maison du Chocolat to all the best chocolatiers in France. I was always thinking, there must be someone who loves this. And when I met Chris, when I first moved to Napa, I said, he's the man, and we've done everything together. So I know, Scott, you had a question about the sushi. It's available, right?
The chocolate sushi, right now it's on COVID lockdown. So as soon as the lockdown's over, we're going to be rolling some more chocolate sushi.
So it
yes,
will be back, Miss Lynch and Scott and everybody else. So you're going to be able to all find this at Atelier because you made 45 of those for
us. We got
us.
45.
And how much are they?
Those are $13.50.
Can you believe? Only!
It's a steal.
This is a steal for COVID. But before we go, you need to tell us, if this one was a chocolate, which one would that be?
So, I was eating last night and drinking last night, and it's this one right here.
Aha!
Not just because it looks
the
like
heart.
the label is a dark burgundy
Very
red
cool.
passion of love.
I'm going to try it with it.
But there's a raspberry ganache on the inside, which mellows. There's such a mellow taste with this. It cuts through each other. It works well. Much different from the raspberry in this one.
Wow. And I actually think it changes a little bit the wine. So, always a big question, Chris.
Yes.
If you had to describe this wine in 3 words, what would be your 3 words? And you could use the word sex. It's okay. It's allowed on the JCB live show. Not that you wouldn't.
Yeah. Strapped, sexy, and smooth.
Ooh, I like that. It may be the next back label. So that would be this one, and I love the raspberry with it.
It's delicious. It's great. It works so well. There's not a challenge to think about. Just eat and drink. And I always tell people, make up your own opinions. It's not, hey, what we say. No, do whatever you want.
So, dear friends, we have a few minutes because I know a lot of you are preparing dinner for tonight.
Oh.
A lot of you are enjoying wines, which I love. And many of you are obviously on the East Coast as well, starting dinner. Chris, so kindly, he knows I'm a huge fan of popcorn. So he brought us a little surprise. So hopefully you can see it. You know, Dylan is improving technology by the second. Look at that. He looks like Fellini. Federico Fellini. I don't want to say Coppola because he's our wonderful neighbor and friend. But Fellini is a little wild.
He's wild.
Like Dylan. I just wonder what he's going to do tonight with all that chocolate. Ooh. Maybe with Jen, who knows? Maybe we're building couples through those fantastic moments.
I think we are.
So tell us, because, dear friends, this is looking really cool. Look at that.
This one's right here.
Yeah.
I love the popcorn. I love this one. This is my favorite.
So, well, tell us about the popcorn because you know.
This is buttery, salty popcorn in a white chocolate. We put real corn powder in there. And then we finish it off with little pop rocks to play off the word popcorn. So there'll be a little sizzle in the back of your throat. The strawberry fizz, this is one of our biggest sellers right here, is great to start with a 69.
Which one?
The strawberry fizz.
Well, where do we go after 69 is my worry.
So,
But you like to start strong.
just
I
go
know.
right.
Isn't it how he is? Confirmed by his beautiful, irresistible wife. So I don't contradict beautiful ladies. So here is.
Yeah, that's it. And then you want to get a little darker, put the
Ooh.
lights down a little bit,
I see.
and get in with a little pops.
So this one is what's the percentage
Order
of
around
chocolate?
62 on this one.
Very nice.
And this is real strawberries, freeze-dried, pulverized, made into the Inspiration Collection by Valrhona.
Yeah, that's
They're
great.
always innovating, pushing us, pushing each other.
But explain
Yes.
briefly how you make this, because I got to tell you, beautiful popcorn, and it seems that you put the popcorn and then you lay the chocolate.
We get the big melt. We melt down the chocolate. We put our freeze-dried corn powder, 100% natural. We pulverize the popcorn. We stir it all together, and then we go through the temperature zone. Chocolate needs to be tempered.
Yeah.
A good tempered everything.
Oh, it's the first time he used that word today. Have you noticed? But that's it. And how long do you actually cook it?
Well, we'll go through temperature zones for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll set it up. And then it'll get nice and firm,
Yeah.
and then it's ready to eat. So that
Nice and firm. Ooh la la. This is going to be a hot weekend. So, dear friends, this is white chocolate.
This is white chocolate.
Wow.
It's smooth. It's silky.
Last question on that. People say white chocolate is not good for you. Is it true? Or?
Whatever.
really?
No, what a lot of
I
people
love
like
white
to say is
chocolate.
like white chocolate's not real chocolate. But at the end of the day, it's coming from this.
Okay.
There's very, very, very small traces of the cacao in that part.
Yep.
The process is extensive. It gets separated, but it gets reintroduced, but it's still coming from
From this.
the
So it's
beans
real
on-
chocolate.
the
We
beans
love it.
inside.
Well, this is so much fun. So, Chris, one of the things I always have asked you before as a friend around the dinner table, if you had a dream that you have not yet made happen, what would that be? If you want to share it, I know it's a very personal question, but you can make it the way you want. Because we all have dreams. Right, Jen? Dylan? Don't we have dreams? Life is about dreams. If there's one thing you haven't done, it could be making love in a Cabernet tank. It could be, anything you want. I know you got me going with that pill. It seems that what track mine too.
One of my dreams is to have your your tank room at Raymond Vineyards all by myself with my beautiful wife, and that's it, and chocolate.
I love it. So Chris, as we're gonna make a toast on this,
Yes.
last night, my daughters asked me, Papa, it's 10:30, Friday night, not that there's school right now. They say, what do you want to watch? And I said, I discovered that movie with Gina 9 years ago, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. my dream, so I've watched this movie probably 22 times.
Yes.
I adore it. And there's no movie better. And for years, people would tell me, have you seen it? You seem like the Willy Wonka of wine. And I'd never seen it, and I love it. So you know what I would love for us to do? When things become, in some ways, more abnormal. I'd say more abnormal, because what is normal is we should do a room dedicated to chocolate and wine. And my dream, honestly, is to bring the two together like we've done in our parties, in the bathtub, and create stalactite, meat coming from the sky, falling in, people grab it and eat chocolate. Walls are full of chocolate. We have udders coming out and we just eat chocolate.
Yeah.
Let's be wild.
We need that room.
And we force people to be in a bikini because, you know,
right.
it's how we should be anyhow.
Uh-huh.
And maybe, you know, we do it soon.
I've got some blueprints written up for this trip already.
So, dear friends, if you want to be invited, you just basically on Facebook right now. My phone just died because obviously I got so excited. But you put little hearts, we'll tag your name, and remember, for that party, you are in. So we'll do a party in a secret room at Raymond Vineyards. It won't be too big, so we cannot welcome too many people.
No.
We'll be quite selective, not by your physique, but by your speed of response. And you will be invited in a very light lingerie. It doesn't have to be chocolate-based, but you will be barefoot, and we will do a chocolate party. Wow.
Done.
Done! Ladies and gentlemen, it was so much fun to be together again for the JCB Live. The star, Chris Kollar!